Greetings, it is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue our discussion on Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, AD&D. It is time to dive into more of the rules of the game, into more of the combat-based rules. Today I'm going to dive into healing, death, and talk about a little bit about the treasures you'll get for your game. So let's talk about healing, or hit points in general. So you're going to have a maximum hit points based upon, of course, your class and your level. It's going to give you a certain hit dice. You're going to have those hit dice. You're going to add any kind of bonus that Constitution would add, and those are going to figure out your total hit points. No matter what kind of damage you take and healing you get, you can never exceed that total. Whatever your total hit points is, it's your maximum. Now, the kind of healing you can get is depending on what kind of activity. If you just do light activity, you do heal 1 hit point per day. Now, light activity would be just, doing a walk or traveling by horseback would be considered light activity, 1 hit point per day. On the other hand, if you do full bed rest, it's 3 hit points per day. If you should take a full week of rest, you can add any bonus that your Constitution would have to your hit dice per level. That bonus, you could add it into the 21 you'd be getting for resting the entire week. So if your Constitution is high enough to add 2 hit points, that you add those 2 to that to get 23. Now, other than normal rest, you can also have magical healing. Magical healing is instantaneous. You get it right away. It's by spells, by device, by potion, any of those things they apply to, you're healed. Now, if you reach 0, you die. Now, there might be, of course, magic that might prevent you this or protects you, but if you don't have anything like that, 0 just means you're dead. Now, there are some complications dealing with death. If you died from having poison in your system, it still is in your system for 2d6 hours after your death. So that means if someone tries to raise you from the dead after you've been dead from poison, it still might be in your body. You might still have to save against that poison again as soon as you wake up, which it might kill you right away again. There's the possibilities of it. So it's just, if you succeeded at your resurrection check, which I'll talk about in a minute, and you do come back to life, you'll immediately have to save against the poison, unless it's been taken out of your body, or it's been long enough to leave your system. Now, you can die from massive hit, massive damage. What this means is if an attack does 50 or more damage to you, you have to make a save versus death, or die. Of course, your save versus death, it will tell you what it is based on your class level. I talked about that earlier. It's one of the types of saves. But if you die from that, you can be raised normally. It doesn't do anything special. Now, of course, there are very extreme circumstances, which are very rare, where you just die. There's no saves, no anything special. It's like a death trap that you might wander into. Let's say you're in a sealed box full of acid. There's no escape. You just melt in there. Or if you're in a room with no exit and there's a crushing trap above you, there's nothing to do. Unless you have some kind of extraordinary thing to do that your character would have listed on it, or some kind of special magic item that would protect you from that, it's just going to kill you. A normal person in that circumstance has no hope, just going to die. Those are very extreme circumstances, but they can happen. So if Raise Dead or Resurrection would be cast on you, those are the 2 spells that bring you back from the dead. The first thing you're going to look at is you're going to see if you can be successfully raised. This is based upon your Constitution. You're going to look at your Constitution, and it's going to tell you what your resurrection percentage chance would be. And so effectively you roll a die, and you have to go equal or lower than whatever your percentage chance of coming back from resurrection is, which is based upon your Constitution. And if you succeed, you're raised. Now, whatever other effects it mentions under these spells, you also lose 1 permanent Constitution. So it gets harder and harder the more you get resurrected. If you go down to 0, your character is dead forever, can't be resurrected, make a new character. Now let's talk about treasure. Treasure you get in various forms. You could find it in a dungeon, you could get it as a reward, you could find it in a bandit's lair, whatever it would be. It would mean it'd be an amount of something that you're getting that's money valuable that you can use to buy goods and services. It's the loot you get from a game. Now, it takes many forms. First is, of course, coins. When you get coins, it's as simple as that. I talked about the coins before when I was talking about equipment. It's copper, silver, platinum, gold, electrum, coins. Now, other forms, of course, could be objects made of precious metal. If it's something made of a precious metal, like a golden goblet, the thing is you're going to have to find someone that would work with this sort of metal to get it appraised. They're going to have to look at it, find out that it's not counterfeit, so it's real, and then appraise it for the proper price before you could even look into selling it. The same works similarly for gems. If you find a gem, you're going to have to get a jeweler to look at it and say, this is real, and then tell you how much it's worth before you sell it. Now, you can find objects of art. These are things that are usually not made of a valuable material. They could be some kind of sculpture or something, like an elven wooden sculpture. you're going to have to find effectively someone that's willing to buy it. It's not going to have the same kind of value as anything else. It's not going to have a set value. It's going to be, you're going to find a buyer, someone's willing to pay you for it, and they'll tell you how much they're offering from it, someone that finds it having value. Now you could also find trade goods like dried spice, furs, things like that. These, again, they have a little more of a set value, but they're usually, you would trade them in for cash, sell them, depending on whatever area you're in and the sort of market at the time might change how these trade goods have a price to them. Now, the other thing treasurers are going to have is magic items. Magic items take some different forms. Whenever you get a magic item, of course it's going to be very important to your characters. It's your game, and you're going to sort of split it between your characters. However, who could use it might be important. You'd figure that out. I'll talk about that in a minute. But magic items are a big part of treasures. They take the form of magic weapons, magic armors. It could be a potion or an oil. It could be a scroll. It could be a ring. It could be a staff, wand, or rod. It could be some kind of miscellaneous magic item, or you could get lucky. It could be like an artifact or a relic, something that's very powerful. Now, there are a couple of ways you can look at dividing up your loot. You could directly just take the coins, or whatever coin value of things, split it evenly, divide it among people. You, of course, could keep some kind of group stash of money for various group kind of items that you might want to purchase, and split the rest that way. For things like magic items, it's a little more difficult. You could have it all sold down, and then people buy their own stuff. You could have it split apart equally money-wise to people, so that if you get this much, you might not get this much of the gold. You, of course, could also just split it to who needs it in the group. There's many ways, and the book does describe a few different ones, that your group could agree to split the money and the magic items they find on their adventures. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I went over healing, I went over the basics of death, resurrection, I went over some basics of treasure. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. It shows your support for the channel and the Empire. It shows that you like the videos I do and want me to do more. Please subscribe if you already haven't. We're always looking for more members, more citizens, and please share this video. If you know anybody that would learn anything from this video, would just enjoy seeing it, please share it with them. And until the next time, I bid you farewell.